Hello guys, so today we're going to solve our next lead code problem, that is the varied anagram problem. So in this we have two strings right now, we can actually see. And in these two strings what we need to do is to find if these strings have equal amount of characters and that have like equal amount of weights. That means those characters are repeating on equal amount. For example, let's see from the example that we have given. And if those elements are equal in amount in between those two strings, then we return true. Otherwise, we return false. For example, we have this string here as anagram, and if we divide count the elements in this string, let me just grab these two tables that I've created. We can see A occurs three times. N occurs 1, G occurs one time, R occurs one time, and M occurs one time. Let me just edit this out. And if we see the T table hash map, we can see N occurs one time, A occurs three times, G1, R1, and M1, right? So in order to solve this problem, we have two different methods of solving this problem. One method is about sorting method. In the sorting method, like there are so many sorting mechanisms out there, and each sorting mechanism has its own variation of type complexity and space complexity. Some sorting methods actually take about O n square amount of time. For example, the bubble sort, and some mechanisms use O n log of n time complexity, and some take space complexity of O of n, and some take O of one. They don't actually take any space complexity at all. They don't take any space. So so just for a small demo on how sorting method work, we can use a built-in method for this to solve this problem. We can just simply do is to what we can do is to sort first split these into characters or a list. You can actually convert this into a list and then sort it. And then I can simply do the same stuff with the T string and return from here whether like these elements are sorted, they are actually they are actually the same string or not. We can just do this method and we can actually get a fairly good result from this. But for the interviews, I would say it's better to solve a problem from scratch rather than use built-in functions, because it really, showcases the um, candidates uh, complexity on how to deal with problems from scratch. You can actually talk with your recruiter regarding this on how to solve this problem. So we can actually say, if we actually write this down, we can actually say the sorting method consumes O n square or O n log of n time complexity, right? And for the space complexity, we can say O of n or O of 1, or there can be other variations as well. It really depends on the algorithm that you're choosing or picking up. And now we are moving towards our second method, that is the hash map method. In the hash map method, what we are going to do is to like divide these elements into into these hash maps, and from there we can actually compare if these elements are in the same amount in both of these strings or not. Like for example, these are matching. We can say yes. In this second example, this T and this R are not matching. That means this occurred one time, this occurred one time, and they are two different elements. So that means this is not an anagram. Um, these are not anagrams. So let's just dive into lead code and see how to resolve solve this problem properly. First, we need to check the length of these two, because we need to see if these are to be valid anagrams, they have to be equal in length. If they are not equal in length, we can just simply return false, right? And for this, and for now, what we need to do is to like initiate some counters here, counters that will count these elements for like we already know these are equal in amount, like in length, so it's not going to be a problem for us to use for loop here. And what we need to do is to simply count slash f I equal to 1 plus what we need to do right now is to use count f I. And now what we need to do is to use the get method to get the the value for this of for this like problem. We can use here as yeah, s and I for the key value. And now to get the value, we can just simply use si, and also we can use here like 0. Why we are using 0 here? Because why we are using the get method? Because we want to either get the value of this of this hash map, or like if there's no such character in the element, then we can just return 0 from it, so we don't have any error or edge case from there. And in the second, we can just simply replace with t, because we are doing the same process here, and we just need to do this stuff here. Okay, let's see if there is any error, syntactical error or something, so we can actually get it caught right now. Yeah, I think so. We can just use this method to get the key of this, and this will resolve our problem, I guess. Yeah, okay. And now what we need to do is to simply, we have the values now, we just need to simply iterate these the elements in any of these arrays. For example, in count slash s, and what we need to do is to check if count slash s k compares the value of the value of the hash map is comparable to count slash t dot get key and 0, right? Because we have the key, we can just see. And then what we can do is to, if these values don't match, just simply return as false. If everything has been processed and everything looks good, we can just return true. Let's just compile it one more time and see if everything is good. Okay, so we have an error in the second uh, here. Just give me a minute so I can. Okay, guys, a small bit of mistake that I did. So I just found it. So it was just this. I was actually not properly accessing those characters here, because we need to access the keys like this, and from that we can actually increment. And let's just run it out, and let's see what the result, how the result goes. So we are actually in the good pace. Now we can actually just submit, and let's see the result. So we have the result here. And also just one last method. So if you want to do this in one line of code, you can actually just do this.